Let's hammer it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special episode of the Hyperconscious Meets Conversations Change Lives podcast. As usual, good friend and ally Alan Lazarus is in studio with us today, and today we're going to talk about what we're grateful for.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Hello, everybody. I think this is going to be awesome because I think in most conversations, what tends to be talked about is all of us have fallen victim to complaining a lot about.
Real quick, look at these socks.
The socks are legit.
All right, sorry. That's all. Just
Only
gonna-
those on YouTube.
Yep.
We'll be able to see that. But people complain, and we've all fallen victim to that. I always say we have one of my heroes, Tony Robbins, always says we have a 2 million-year-old brain that is designed to make us survive. And because of that, it's always looking for what is wrong and or what could hurt us, the whole fight or flight endeavor. So this conversation is going to be entirely based on what is good,
Yeah.
what is right,
Right.
what is going well.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be awesome for not only us, but everyone listening. And as we're talking about the things we're most grateful for, I think other people will probably start to think of things that they're really grateful for that maybe we all take for granted on the day-to-day.
And that was the reasoning behind doing this in the first place, that there was a point where I didn't even know what I was grateful for.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I should put my finger on what I was grateful for a long time.
When was that?
A year ago.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, before this whole change happened.
Before
this whole-
becoming hyper-conscious.
Yeah, before that happened, it was, so you always ask, like, you would ask a bunch of questions about, like, are you better now than you were? Or my thought was always, I lacked things. So I never was grateful for what I had. I was missing what I didn't.
Yeah.
And obviously that sets you up to be in a terrible place.
Yeah, on one of the podcast episodes with Ryan Moore, you talked about the Jenga analogy.
Yeah,
I loved
yep,
that.
yep.
And if you picture your life, your self-esteem is like a Jenga tower. Every time you're thinking of something that you're lacking or missing, especially if it's something you can't do anything about,
Right.
you're pulling pieces out, and eventually that tower is going to
Yeah,
topple.
yeah.
And every time you're thinking about what you do have, like a resource that is in your favor, or a blessing, or a person, or a resource, like an advantage, you're reinforcing those pieces to build a stronger foundation. I don't talk enough about what's good.
Right. Most people don't, I don't think.
Yeah, I think we could all talk more about what's good, because when you are hyperconscious, it's funny because you say before you became hyperconscious and went through this whole growth transition, you didn't really know to like put your finger on what you're grateful for.
Right, absolutely.
But yet, now that you are hyperconscious and you're so focused on improvement, the way to improve is to first figure out what's not ideal and then shift that.
Right.
So it creates a strong demand to think about what's needs to improve. And I think that sometimes will get us, and me personally, I fall victim to the fact that, like, if I'm constantly looking at what isn't good enough yet because I'm looking to improve it, sometimes I can fall victim to that in a sense of like, oh, geez, like there's so many things I am doing well, but I'm so damn focused on this one thing that I'm not doing good enough at, and it's making me feel like crap, even though I'm doing better than I've ever done.
It's a strange. See, that's why I always fall back on what you think you are is far more important than what you actually are. Because if by all accounts you're a super happy person who's super successful, super fulfilled, all that, but you don't see yourself that way,
Yeah.
then none of that matters.
That's true, man. And I guarantee you there's a lot of people out there who are wildly successful by other people's standards, but yet they don't feel that way.
And the reason behind that is, and I've said this a million times, and I know firsthand, you know firsthand, that money just simply doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah.
The reason is because money is an external thing.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the same exact thing, just kind of like living life blindly, and you get thrown a large sum of money, nothing changed. The only thing that changed was your finances.
Nothing inside of you.
Nothing is
changed.
nothing with your mentality.
Yeah.
Nothing with your self-confidence. Realistically,
It's interesting, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I think a lot, man. A lot of people think it's just I just need this one thing to happen, or I need to get over this hump, and then
I know.
then I'm going to be fine. Or once I find that special person in my life, I'm going to be fine. And it's like, along the way, you should be grateful for the things that you do have right now. And when those things come, you can slide those into your life, begin to feel grateful for those, and there you go.
I was listening to Kevin asked me not long ago to recommend a book that I think would help him the most right now.
Yes.
Because I read constantly, and he knows I'm into a lot of the personal development books and things like that. So I brought up a book called Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer. He's one of my favorite authors, passed away a few years ago. Amazing book. In that book, he talks about this. He basically says, if you are not happy and grateful for what you have now, even when you have more, that's going to be more that you're not grateful for.
Right.
Because not being grateful, I think, is a pattern. It's like a thought pattern. When you are constantly, and I always go to these thought patterns. If you guys have listened to this podcast, you've probably heard me say this. If I were to ask Kevin, and I've asked you this before, if you think, do you think more about what you do have or what you don't have?
I do have.
Lately.
That's
awesome.
This is all a new thing.
Because last time you said what you don't have.
Probably.
Which was, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago, maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
But that was your answer before.
I think we did one in the Christmas episode too, and I think it was
better.
Yeah. It was better.
So, so you focus more on what you do have than you don't have.
Yeah.
Do you focus more on what you can control or what you cannot control?
Absolutely can. Absolutely.
That's
now.
awesome.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
but that's a conscious effort though. That just doesn't happen.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
It's a conscious
and then
effort.
the last one is, do you focus more on the future, the present, or the past?
So right now it's present and future. I try not to. I'll use my past experiences as kind of like templates, what to do or what not to do.
Principles.
Yeah, but I don't live there. I don't live there.
So for anyone listening and watching right now, Kevin has been
I'm perfect.
killing it in all the ways, and he's just
appreciate
really, really happy.
I appreciate that.
You're happier than I've seen you in a really long time.
Had a lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of
and you've helped
changes.
me a lot climb out of some stuff that I've been going through. But it's not surprising to me. If you guys all want to check in with yourself, ask yourself those three questions. Like, am I focused more on what I can control or what I can't? Am I focused more on what I do have or what I don't have? And am I focused more on the past, the present, or the future? If you can honestly answer those and say, I am focused more on what I do have, like on the regular, not just one thought, right? But like on the day-to-day, I am more focused on what I can control, and I am more focused on either the beauty of this present moment, or the brighter future that I'm creating. You're gonna be much happier.
Yeah.
And if you ask me those same questions right now, like my answers probably wouldn't be as sound as they would have been back when I was.
Right.
And this is a thing. It's patterns. I was watching Tony Robbins' interview not long ago, and he talked about people think that their thoughts are them, when in reality it's like a habit. You've heard of the 5-second rule with Mel Robbins. We've talked about this before. She talks about that. You are not a procrastinator. You have a habit of procrastination.
Yeah.
So you have to detach the behavior from the identity. And I think this also goes for like when you're trying to help somebody else. When you're in an intimate relationship, for example, and you want to help someone be better, it's very important to communicate in a way where they know that you don't like the behavior, but that you still love them.
Yeah.
Separate the two. It's tough because we tie our identity to our actions. And even though someone's just trying to say, no, I love you, this behavior, though, just isn't working, right? Whatever that is, like late night, getting home too late or drinking too much or whatever it is. So, yeah, I think that's huge, man, is those three questions. Remember, are you focused more on what you can control or can't control? Are you focused more on what you do have or what you don't have? And are you focused more on the past, present, or future? And really check in with those. I want to do that more often. And that this conversation is going to be entirely focused on what is good, what we do have, and what we can control. And it's going to be past, present, and future, but I think it's going to be a lot about the good things of the past, which is going to be cool.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of this like the Jenga tower is a great analogy for it. That you need to be grateful for what you have, because when you're when you're pulling at straws that you don't have and you're regretting the fact that you don't have something, you're actually taking away
Yeah.
even more than not having it.
Yeah.
So imagine being on an island, your plane just crashed, and you have all you can think about is, God, I need some wood to build a boat. I just need some wood to build a boat.
Right.
I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I have an umbrella, I have a tarp, I have a pot, and I have a pan.
Yeah.
But God damn it, I need a boat. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Right? You're not grateful for any of those things.
Yeah. You have a knife. You have all,
all
these
things,
tools.
all
yeah.
those tools, and you're not grateful for any of them.
Yeah.
When it rains, you're saying, "Oh shit, I have this umbrella. I have this tarp. I can collect rainwater."
Yeah.
The thing is, you have to change your mindset.
You were so focused on the fact that you don't have
right. You were
wood for the
more
boat.
focused on what you didn't have.
Yeah.
Where it took you 2 weeks to figure out what you do have
Yeah.
can get you what you need.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's a lot of that it comes with self-discovery.
This is a great opening for this. I have that saying, whatever you fail to appreciate, depreciates.
Yeah.
So if Kevin was in an intimate relationship and he didn't appreciate his significant other, what are the chances that he's going to treat her
0.
with the love and respect she deserves
Right.
to grow that relationship?
Right.
Zero.
Zero.
If you don't appreciate your health, what are the chances you're taking care of yourself?
Very low.
Yeah, man. So this is huge. This is going to be awesome. So I wrote down a bunch of things that I'm grateful for.
Hammer it!
And Kevin's more of a in the
Believe it
flow
or not, I'm
state.
going to freestyle it because that's what I do.
He's going to freestyle it.
So what's your number one? Or what's your first? Because I don't think it should be... I mean, yeah, maybe you should level them. Like, this is what I'm most grateful for. But I think, gratefulness is kind of like money in the bank where every dollar is super important.
It's a beautiful thing.
They add up. So it's not just one thing.
I also like the phrase that gratitude is a verb. And what I mean by that is that it's an action.
Yes.
So first and foremost, do you have anything... Kevin, you've been so happy lately.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anything that you're doing differently?
Yes.
Okay. Let's share that first.
So when you and I first kind of reconnected,
Yeah.
because we were friends back in the day before I fucking hated you, Alan had a little ego problem.
A little bit. Most of us are like
still
that.
does.
He still does.
No.
Yeah.
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
No. So I asked you, are you doing anything differently? Yeah.
So when we first reconnected, one of the things you told me was, Kevin, the quality of your life is going to depend. It's going to rely heavily on the top 5 people you spend the most time with.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know what book you got that out of, but whatever. And what is it, a year and a half later? It really is so true. It is so true.
Yeah, man.
So I am super grateful that I am lucky enough to be surrounded by people who legitimately have my best intentions in hand and legitimately love me.
Yeah.
Love me. Like, and I don't mean that like to sound cocky, like, oh, they love me. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I've had
Genuinely.
conversations with my close friends lately that I hope more people get to have, because I feel like not many people do. But I know my team is ride or die. Like, this is really the dream team.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that, because doing this alone would be super hard, man.
It would be, I don't want to say impossible, but it would
be very hard.
Way more challenging.
Very hard. Not even this, just coming home and not having anybody to vent to, or,
Yeah.
I get great advice from every corner.
Yeah, man.
I'm always getting really good advice from people, and I can pass that advice on to other people, and I'm just super grateful, man. I'm super grateful for the people in my life, because without the people in my life would not have the level of quality that it does.
So when you say you're doing something differently,
I'm spending more time with those people.
spending more time with the right people.
Yep.
I think that's awesome, because who you're around is who you become. Everybody hears that phrase, but it's so, so true. I mean, how many of the sayings that you say do I say now on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a whole thing. Sure. Like,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
start talking like each other.
Yep.
There's other things going on. The people that you're around, you're going to start talking like them. You're going to start thinking like them. You're going to start acting like them. So it is super important to get around people who tend to err on the side of optimism, err on the side of positivity, who understand that there are real problems and that, things are not always ideal, but that also spend most of their time 80-20 in the green, so to speak, in the fact that they're talking about what's right. I talk to you real talks all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been going through a lot of stuff. So for people out there who are around people who tend to constantly rely on them for one of the things in this list, and I'll just go to it, is literally Kevin. It says Kevin.
I appreciate that,
And then
brother.
it says, yeah, absolutely. It says in parentheses, Dream Team. And then I gave not only my top 5 most grateful things for right now, but also like the reasons why. And I'll just give this one. The first reason why is always cheers me up and makes me laugh.
my job.
Which is awesome.
I'm the funny one, guys.
He is. He's hilarious. And it's not just in the podcast. Always hammering funny jokes.
I got to.
Always helps me work through and overcome challenges, which you just said and your other friends have done for you as
Right.
well. The third one is super hardworking and helps me push me both in the gym and on the podcast and just to be better in general. The gym especially, Jesus. Savage in the gym.
Appreciate
Kevin.
that.
If you want to get those extra reps in, Kevin behind you is the man to have behind you.
I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. So what would you say to someone who doesn't have people that really want them to succeed? What do they do about that?
Find them.
Yeah.
Find them. They're out there for sure. They're out there. It's a constant battle between the past you,
Yeah.
the future you, and where the present you is. If the past you is somebody who only hung out with people who just didn't care, like we'll say burnouts or whatever, people who just
Yeah.
small-minded people afraid to take risks, and that doesn't mean they're bad people.
Yeah.
That just means they haven't developed the self-confidence to say, fuck, you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
And if you get around the right people, 2 or 3 people, whatever, that'll make you flip.
Yeah.
You'll be the only one in the room who doesn't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
If you don't. And that'll kind of mold you into like,
I know.
you'll feel comfortable believing in yourself because everybody around you does.
Yeah, exactly. And
If
they'll
you're the
help you
only
be-
one
and
jumping
they'll
out of a
believe in you
plane,
too.
you're going to be freaking out. If there's 3 other people jumping out of the plane with you,
Yeah.
you're going to be all right, unless you all die. But it's like if you have 4 friends that just love to party, you're probably a really good drinker. If you have 4 friends that like to get after it in the gym, I'm willing to bet you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's so true.
And
Is it that simple?
It is that simple.
It's that simple.
No, nothing is that simple. But
No, but like that's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
one of the
man.
biggest ones for sure.
the biggest difference I see between me now and me a year ago is the amount of time that I spend with quality people having quality conversations.
That's an awesome statement. That's
The biggest difference. And that I told you today,
changes everything.
I used to have a mindset of like 90% doubt, 10% success.
Yeah.
When I would
remember.
succeed
Yeah.
on a test, I thought I got lucky. Never
Oh my
thought it was
God,
because
man.
I prepared.
It's hard to even imagine that, Kevin.
Right. And now it's like, this is all a thing. This is all going to get bigger. We're getting better.
Yeah.
Things screw up. Like on the last episode, the backdrop fell.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What are we going to not post it because it didn't go perfect?
Of course not.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
This is leaps and bounds better than when I was doing the first time I did a podcast.
Exactly.
I didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
I had 2 microphones.
I know.
Like, come on, whatever. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
It's huge. Huge, huge, huge. Okay, cool. So cool.
What else are you
That-
grateful for?
What else am I grateful for? So, number 1, I put my health.
Okay.
And then for the reasons why, I put training has been insane.
It has. You've been killing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've been killing
Thank you, brother. Train insane or remain the same.
it. Yes.
Option 2. Fuck option 2. Number 2 is sleep has been pretty great. So it's funny. Before this podcast, I was telling Kevin, I was like, dude, I'm so tired. Like a power nap. Got to get a power nap in. You and Jenny mentioned this to me, and I didn't even know this was a thing to be grateful for.
Oh, yeah.
Now I do. Because
bothers me.
Yeah. So Jenny always would say to me, you fall asleep faster than anyone I've ever met in my life. And apparently that is one of the secrets to, quote unquote, my success. It's one of the tools in my tool belt because when I want to go to bed, like
It's time.
it doesn't matter where I am
Yeah.
or what I'm doing. Like I can go real quick.
Yeah.
And apparently that's not the case for
No,
everybody.
no, nope.
And everyone knows, I don't got to go into the science why sleep is so important. But if let's say person A and person B, if Alan A is taking an hour to fall asleep before bed every night,
Oh, yeah.
And Alan B is hammering it within a minute and he's out like a light, that's 59 minutes every
Exactly.
night,
Exactly.
compounded over years and
Yeah.
years and years of better sleep. So, I don't know necessarily what I'm doing differently to be able to fall asleep.
You know what it is? I bet you, you know what it is, I said. I bet you it is the fact that you do it so often.
Interesting.
I think that's why. I don't ever nap. ever.
But what about before bed? Like, we all go to bed at night.
But you nap during the day.
Yeah.
So
Not
you s-
always, but most of the time.
So you fall asleep twice as much as most people do.
Twice as fast?
Twice as
So
much.
I was going to say,
Twice as much.
oh, twice as much.
Twice as much.
And therefore twice as fast. Or more than twice as fast.
Therefore,
Well, 'cause-
faster.
Because we
whatever.
always say whatever you do more of, you're going
Right.
to get good at
You
it.
get
Talk
better.
about patterns
Right.
again. That's a
Right.
good point.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was going to say, and this is what I've told Jenny in the past, because she struggles to sleep sometimes. She doesn't have like insomnia or anything. It takes her longer to fall asleep. Like, we'll be watching a movie.
I
and
feel you, Jenny. I feel you.
and I'll be out like a light, you know. But one of the things I was going to say is I think it's linked to my training.
Could be.
I think that because I'm pushing my body past its current limitations literally every day, like literally every day.
Yeah.
The first off day I took was this past weekend. We were in Attitash, New Hampshire, and I felt very weird. That was the first off day I think I've taken in like 3 or 4 months, if not longer. But I push it in the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Really push it.
Yeah.
And I really don't think I gotta look up the science behind this. But I'm pretty sure extreme athletes tend to sleep better.
I mean, I would imagine if you had a battery level,
Yeah.
you're down to 10% every day or zero.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
The body goes right out because it needs it.
Yeah.
Who was it?
I also
said
think you have a
this?
very sound mind too. I think one of the reasons when I get super stressed out, one of the reasons I struggle to sleep is because, and this doesn't happen. I couldn't tell you the last time it happened. Actually, probably when I was sleeping in a hotel. But
Interesting.
um,
Is that because you're more happy now?
I think it is. But it also I'm not dwelling on anything.
Dude.
The only thing I dwell on is writing my list for the thing, like what I'm doing the next day. So there isn't much like, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? I don't really care if that happens.
Dude, oh my God. So here's such a really important thing. Your circumstances are not any better than hold on. So when it comes to finances, having a relationship, your friendships are way better. So
Friendships
that we
are way
said.
better.
But like your current like quote unquote circumstances for like your whether or not you're going to succeed,
Oh,
especially
no.
financially, are not any better right now than they were a year ago.
Honestly, they would
But
actually be considered worse.
yeah, see?
But I'm like, whatever.
But yet you're now happier, healthier, sleeping better, and not dwelling on anything.
well, I'm in alignment.
People think that their circumstances dictate their happiness.
This is exactly why I made a post the other day that said, do not allow your circumstances to dictate your success.
That's such an important notion. You
Yeah.
can feel it more than most because you're like, oh wow, like logistically, someone in my position should be more worried,
Right.
quote unquote, than this person.
Right.
But yet you're totally on point because of your habits, your thought habits, the people you're around, and like your actual daily disciplines are more geared for happiness than they used to be.
And I think this is something that I do well that I actually just kind of thought of. I don't know if I've ever really consciously put my finger on it, but I think I'm really good at take it easy out there, neighbors. I think I'm really good at taking my circumstances and rather than being like, oh, I wish it was this way, being grateful for them. That was the point of my post the other day was like, look, you can either take your circumstances and say, this is the reason why I'm not going to get where I want to get.
Yeah.
Or you can take your circumstances and say, this is exactly the reason I'm going to get where I want to get.
I know.
You have two options.
It depends on how you think of it.
And you can't say my circumstances are different than yours. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Of course they are.
That's
Yeah.
part of life.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan had this thing where he said, look, yeah, so maybe you were born without an arm. Are your circumstances different? Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Do I understand what they are? No.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because those are your circumstances. So it's either you succeed or you fail.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course you could blame it on your circumstances, but you don't want to go through your life that way. You know, I feel like that goes hand in hand with being grateful for what you have as opposed to wishing you had more.
Yeah, and there are other people without an arm that
Right.
have found
Right.
happiness. There are people without arms that are probably happier than you and I.
Right. Bella.
Exactly.
Bella.
Right? Yeah.
Bella's happy.
She has an arm, but
Yeah,
exactly.
but she's
she's happy as it gets.
Yeah.
And when you see that and you're talk about being around the right people, when you're around that and you realize that that's a real thing, a
Yeah.
very real thing, I think she resonates so well with so many people because she's been through things that most of us are complaining about the weather and other little difficulties, and I've fallen victim of this too. Like when you fall victim to like constantly looking at like what's wrong rather than what's right. And then you get in the room with Bella, realize that everything you're going through is nothing in comparison. Absolutely nothing. And yet she's happier than you.
But those are circumstances.
Yeah.
And so for her, she realizes, well, this is part of it.
Yeah.
And she believes, she has an insane level of self-belief.
Yeah.
And she has an insane work ethic.
And faith, too.
Yeah. And it's like, she is the greatest example of why you should believe in yourself. Because you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not.
And why circumstances shouldn't dictate your happiness.
No.
Huge. Huge, huge, huge.
What else you got?
So I didn't actually go through all the whys.
Oh,
so I had training has been insane. Sleep has been pretty great. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I'm so grateful for that. The sleep thing. I didn't even know that was like you.
I am jealous.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So I gotta be happy about that. See, we take things for granted that we don't even know are like important. And then number 3 is I'm rarely ill, if ever, and I overcome injuries super fast. I got really, really frustrated a while back, and I ended up punching the back of one of my chairs. My office chair, which whatever reason, this is the hardest office chair of all time.
Maybe just got soft hands.
I just got really frustrated and I got overwhelmed and it killed. I was in the gym the next day. I iced it. I ate some micronutrients and I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep like a baby and I'm going to be in the gym the next day. My head was like, yeah, no question. I'm going to be fine tomorrow. And I heal quick, man. And my mom and Jenny got a stomach bug not long ago where they were really achy and all this stuff. I had like a little bit of an off, like couple hours, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to be over this like in no time.
Yeah.
So I recover real quick. So my health, I wasn't always healthy. I went through a lot of stuff growing up with my health, and yeah, health is number one, and I think it should be everybody's number one. If you have your health, you're a wealthy person.
Love it.
Yeah. What's another one for you?
So I am extremely grateful for the people reaching out to me via various social media platforms. I had the great opportunity to help somebody through some life stuff the other day and literally spent the entire day messaging back and forth with this person. It was great. It was awesome. She opened up so much. It was great. It was great. I'm super grateful that people think about me enough to reach out. Like the fact that they look at me and say, oh, he could probably help, or maybe he can help, or I feel safe. I feel safe confiding in him. I'm super grateful that I get the chance to do what I want.
Yeah.
That's it. Like that's what I want. I want people to reach out. Like that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Matt was like, oh, you got some fan mail? And I was like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like this is part of why I do this. Like I literally spent an entire day talking to this woman. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Do you think you helped?
For sure. I know I helped.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome.
She said this is probably the most like impactful thing anybody has ever said about this certain thing. And it's like, yeah, sure. I'm super glad. And I don't know what to say in every situation. I don't know the answer to everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just to get to people to think.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Think about why you feel the way you do. Think about why you're lacking the confidence. Like this young lady was lacking confidence in an endeavor she wanted to pursue because in her past, somebody close to her had repeatedly shot her down and said, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You're not good enough to do this.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, tell me more about you. Why do you think you can do it? She listed off the reasons. And I said, next time you doubt,
look at those reasons.
look at those reasons, the things that you're grateful for, not the things that you don't have according to somebody else.
Right? Because
completely switch up the game.
This is crazy. Same person. If one of if one of those people is looking at all the reasons why they'll fail,
They will.
The other person, they won't even try, which is failure by default.
Yeah.
And if the other person is looking at all the reasons why they might succeed, they're more likely to try, persevere, and succeed. So that's the same person, same circumstance.
person. You just switch the thought process a little bit.
A little bit. It's all mindset, man.
Just a little bit. It doesn't take a lot, man. It doesn't take a lot. But the thing is, once that door's open, once that spark's created, you have to continue or start putting in the reps and then continue putting in the reps.
Yeah.
This isn't just a
Yeah.
It's not just a set it and forget it.
You're not going to go to the gym once and be fit for life.
No.
You're not going to think a positive thought, be grateful one night, journal one night, and be grateful for life.
Nope.
This is a process.
Process.
A daily
Constant
discipline,
progress.
Constant and
Constant process
Constant
of progress.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. That's a good little slip up right
Well,
there.
you know, what is
Freud.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Freud would be thrilled.
That guy.
Love it. So the second one I wrote is my mother and sister.
Okay, beautiful.
And the reasons I'm so grateful for them are, I was fortunate enough to grow up with two mothers, because my sister was like a second mother to me, always protected me and took good care of me, and they both loved me so very much. So they helped me believe in myself and all of that. So the first one I wrote is, they're both healthy, happy, and things are trending up. That said, I did get a picture today. My sister is getting some dental work. She has a little bit of a swollen face, so we'll see what happens with that. We're hoping for the best.
Yes.
But I think it's all good.
Stay positive.
Stay positive. Second one is they laugh a lot together and with me. And the third one is they're hanging out a lot together, because they used to have such an incredible relationship. And not to dive into too many details to go down that road, since we want to stay on the positive here. But their relationship had a lot of challenges for a really long time in the last 4 to 5 years. And it's really coming around. And I just wanted to give gratitude for that, because it's everything to me.
I think that's beautiful.
That's a good one.
I think that's beautiful. Family is an amazing thing, man. I'm super grateful for my family because they support this.
Yeah.
You know,
Your
like,
memes shares all of our stuff.
yeah, my memes shares every single thing. It's comments.
Yeah.
And now my mom's commenting, saying,
yeah.
that's my boy. And
And your
it's
aunt?
awesome. Yeah, I think it was my aunt.
Something Paul Mary.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of Paul Marys.
Lots of support.
But it's interesting because as my mindset changes, their mindset changes. Like, I could tell at the beginning they're like, what is this even? What are you doing?
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be anything. And now it's like, look, just let me do it.
Yeah.
Just let me do it.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. Like, well, no, not really, but I got enough figured out to the point where I'm just gonna keep putting in the reps.
Yeah.
And we'll see where it takes us.
Being the absolute best you can be.
That's
keep
it.
doing it.
Every time. Try to better your best. Better
Yeah.
your best.
Better your best every single day. I love
Do
it.
you ever find yourself grateful for negative things?
Yes. Totally.
Wow.
Totally.
Like what?
So I have a saying that I live by, and it's, if you can find a way to be truly happy where you are, you'll not only be okay with where you've been, you'll actually be grateful for it, because you know it's what brought you to this point.
Yeah.
And more importantly, not where you are, but who you are. Because the greatest source of unhappiness is self-unhappiness. In other words, if you do something that you consider horrible and against your highest values, you're going to feel like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Identity stuff. So we've talked a lot about this, you and I personally. We've also talked about it on the podcast. You and I had a very dynamic, challenging upbringing.
Yes.
For many reasons that we don't need to go too deep into the details. We will. Those things will come out as they flow. But I do know that had we had the childhoods that we had maybe wanted at the time, we would not be the men we are today.
100%.
And I actually wrote down, this is a good segue, I wrote down that for number 5 for me, for what I'm most grateful for, is my mind, my education, and my challenging childhood. And the last one in particular, the why, is my drive. So, birds of a feather flock together, ships in the same harbor rise and fall together. Kevin and I, there's something inside of us that hopefully resonates with all of you, which is this just insatiable hunger to be at our best, to just work. What is that quality? How would you articulate that quality? Like, I always noticed it in you, even when we didn't get along, even when we didn't like each other. I always noticed that you worked your face off. And that is rare, the most rare.
Some things to me aren't like, for me right now, and I honestly don't care how it sounds. Being in shape is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I refuse not to be.
Yeah.
It's not an option.
Yeah.
So it looks like I'm doing things. I do things that most people don't do.
Yeah.
I would drive home from New York 6 hours and go straight to the gym at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
But that's because I have signed the paper in my head that says, look, being out of shape is beyond you.
Yeah.
That was old you. You don't need to anymore. Why would you?
Yeah.
I know how to do this. Why would I do less?
Yeah.
Why would I ever do less than I need to?
On the last podcast, we talked a little bit about how you were like reckless as a kid.
Yep. I still am, I think.
In sports,
Sometimes.
in the gym, in life, right? And I would also characterize a lot of my behaviors as a young adult as reckless also. But I would also describe them as extreme, and like I think that being reckless is not a good idea for everyone listening, but I do think that one of the biggest common denominators in my dream team personally is this hunger to be better. This like hunger to be the best. Not the best like meaning better than everybody else, but like better than they used to be. And like in the gym in particular, like you see people in there, some of them are just kind of hanging out. Even on our worst day, Kevin, people would look at that, normal people, and be like, these guys are ridiculous. Like, wow.
Well,
They're hitting their chest.
we had a guy today who just like was literally watching me do straight arm push downs. I was targeting my back, and he said, "Oh, that works your back?" And I said, "Yeah, man, jump in, give it a try.
Yeah,
give it a try." And he literally did the next like 4 back exercises that we did. He's like, "I'm just gonna do what you guys do because it works."
I love it.
And it's like I like that because that proves that all right, he must think highly enough of my results where he's willing to put his results on the line to get them.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool.
So what would you call that?
Leading by example.
No, so not that in particular. I do believe that had my father not passed away when I was 2, had I not had,
oh, I see.
Had I not had as privileged, quote unquote, and I don't want to pretend I'm not privileged. I had a wonderful childhood in a lot of ways, but I also had a very difficult childhood.
There's always more than meets the eye.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You know.
And I don't want to pretend that there isn't wonderful parts of it. But I also don't want to be naive and pretend that it was all roses either, because it really, really wasn't.
Because some roses have thorns.
Tony Robbins always says that the number one key to your success is hunger. I don't care how smart you are, what you're born with, or what you're not. Resources are never the long-term indicator. What it is hunger. And I wrote a Twitter quote recently that said, I always, before a difficult set, ask myself, how bad do you want it? And I ask myself that, and it puts me in a state where I'm like, you know, for lack of better phrasing, willing to die for it. Give it all. Give it your all, right? What would you say to someone who really isn't giving their all? What's that next level of like in the zone? Like I was in the gym with Jenny once, and she literally said, "You're scary. In your eyes, I can see a fire it scares me. Genuinely scares. It's just because I'm in the zone.
Yeah, right.
Like at the gym, I'm not. It's not towards her or anything.
Right.
But like, what do you call that?
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a name for it.
You have it, and
I
know because
it's just
I
intensity.
Yeah,
it's just intensity. It's.
But where does it come from? Not everyone has that.
Circumstances.
Not everyone gives a shit enough.
Circumstances. I think most motivation, most lack of motivation, most fear comes from circumstance. I think what you're born into, what you experience, how you live is who you become, who you think you are. It might not be true.
Yeah.
But if you grew up in a broken home and you felt like everything was your fault, that's going to carry over to life.
Yeah.
If you grew up, I always felt like I had something to prove.
Same.
That's what it is. I will prove it. I will prove it on repeat. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Right?
Just who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
If I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know if it's because I don't have the same level of respect for people that say they're going to do something and don't. You know, I'm a man of my word. I try to be a man of my word. And my word to myself is the most important word.
The opposite of, I always try to inverse things to understand them better. So what I would say, Kevin, you said intensity. I said hunger.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you could say savage. You could say beast mode. You could say, you know, dedicated, obsessed, fire. There's a lot of terms you could use. The opposite is timidity.
Right.
Like, just like, nah, it doesn't really fucking,
Right.
I don't care if I get 8 or 10. You know what I mean? Can
So
you
that's
even
complacency.
imagine being that way?
It's complacency.
Like jumping into a set, being like, I'll just hit 4, just to check the box. I've gone to the gym with people like that, where they literally are just there to like say they went.
So playing devil's advocate, though, I mean,
please.
if somebody's new to the gym, I can understand that.
It's a mindset for life, though. Like, no matter, you always say to me this, and again, this is we're exploring right now. I'm not trying to be. You always said, Alan, no matter what you were doing, whether it was video games or getting straight A's in high school or going to, WPI or drinking or,
Yep.
trying to understand the feminine energy or fitness, business, entrepreneurship, corporate America, you always went all in and you always like found a way to be the best. Basketball, snowboarding. And you would say that. I would say that I'm very mastery driven. In other words, I've always been the type of person who, no matter what I'm doing, I want to be the fucking best at it. I don't know if everyone has that, and I'm wondering where it came from.
I don't think everybody does.
So why not?
The same reason some people are afraid of dogs and some people aren't. The same reason some people are afraid of heights and some people aren't. I think.
Do you think that's innate? I think it's environmental.
I think it is. I think it's environmental, but I also think if you don't ever explore the environment, it'll stay that way.
Oh, yeah. So you think it's something everyone can develop? I do. I personally do. But I see that some people want it and don't have it.
Yeah.
And I want them to realize that they could develop it. But then I think back to my childhood and I'm like, oh, well, their childhood wasn't like trying to be the man of the house at 15 when my stepdad left us and we were broke and some of the challenges. I mean, that required me to have a level of fire just to survive that I don't know if that is required of every child.
Well, what if I mean, yeah, but you love fitness.
Oh yeah. For
right?
sure.
So like of course,
But it was everything.
no, I know.
It was everything I ever fell in love with.
I know. But I think fitness is a fickle unicorn, man, because take it easy out there. Because fitness is a go in, give it your best every single day.
Yeah.
And giving it your best isn't showing up to work and working 8 hours.
But shouldn't it be that way with everything?
It should.
Like if you
But
your
what I'm
career,
saying-
imagine if you showed up every day and gave your all every day and then you bettered your best every day.
You would if you loved
dominate every career.
if you loved it, yeah.
So
If you
I'm-
don't love it, you're not going to, most likely not going to do the best you could.
Like I would bet on you succeeding at whatever you want to succeed, whatever success means to you. A certain amount of money, a certain family, a certain.
How consistent do you see me?
It's not about consistency.
But how consistent do you see me as a person?
I see you being very consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's more about the hunger.
The
You
hunger,
have the fire, man. You got
yeah,
the fire.
but you have to feed the hunger with consistency.
Feed the fire.
Feed the fire with
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah.
You have to keep stoking it.
Yeah.
You have to keep throwing wood on it.
Yep.
I think it's because I don't think I'm a dabbler.
I think it's because you had a really, really
It
rough
probably
childhood.
is, but I know people who didn't
yeah,
that get after it just as hard as I do.
just as hard.
Yep,
Okay,
for sure.
word. That's true too.
Yeah, man.
So what was the difference?
I don't know.
I need to know.
I know you
That's why
do.
I'm doing this. I'm trying to figure out the answer. So we got off of gratitude
Yeah,
for a
of
minute.
course,
That's
of course
my
we
bad.
did. No, it's all right.
I really do. If I can answer that question,
I think it's important, man, because I think it's important to know that not everybody that listens to this or watches this is as into fitness as I am or you are.
yeah.
So when we say like
But they should be hungry for something.
something, and maybe they are.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hungry for saving the environment by
you think
creating
they are, though?
a sustainable recycle program. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope so. I know there's people out there that are getting after their dreams.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
And listening to us right now that are getting after their dreams.
Yes.
I'm sure there's people listening to us right now who are feel stuck. You're not stuck. You're currently out of orbit. You'll get back. Like gravity will take its course. You'll get back in orbit. You'll build up momentum. Like it's just, you just have to do it.
Do you think your challenging upbringing was an advantage or disadvantage at this point in your life?
Advantage.
Okay, me too. That's what I'm trying to hint at.
I know.
Okay.
I know. But some people challenge them. Some people might not have gotten challenged to the degree that we did
Yes.
by circumstance, but some people do challenge themselves.
Yes.
Think of somebody who goes to study abroad.
Oh, I
and just
know.
up and like
I
that's
know.
a huge thing.
Nate Smithson's a great example of this.
Exactly.
He, I would argue, has insatiable hunger beyond what most people could ever fathom, and he had a great upbringing. So he's an anomaly. Matt's another one. He has a great upbringing with, and he's super, super hungry too.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something different, and that's why I keep asking, because you and I consider our childhood, as challenging as it was, to be an advantage at this point.
for sure.
What made the difference for them?
Something.
It's the difficult answering of this question. Maybe it won't happen on this podcast, but if anyone has an answer, please send it my way, because that insatiable hunger at the end of the day is going to be the greatest determining factor in the long run of whether or not you succeed or fail on your own terms.
I think that would be good. I think send to either Never Quit Kid on Instagram, Lazarus88 on Instagram. Send DM us.
Yeah.
If you're if you feel like for all
Intents
and purposes you had a really good upbringing and you have this fire to succeed, if you can try to articulate, if you can try to figure out
what caused that,
what caused it, feel free to reach out and let us know.
Please.
I think that would help us too.
I've been trying to answer that question for years.
Well, hey,
because
help us
Tony
out.
Robbins has met 50 million people through his books and tapes, and in person 4 million live events at this point. And he says the number one indicator of success is hunger.
Oh, I believe
hunger
it.
that never goes away. And I think that's true, but I don't know what created it, like what catalyzed it. Because there's so many variables. So I'll find out. If you guys have any ideas, please send it our way.
Absolutely, please.
And this actually takes me to the next one. Number 4 I wrote down is that what I'm most grateful for is the listeners and other fans. And it said we wanted to talk about the review.
Yeah.
So to give a little context, there's a podcast called the Ultimate Health Podcast that Jenny and I listened to on our way to Attitash, New Hampshire this weekend. And they did this weekly shout out of people they were grateful for that were leaving reviews for the show. So today, I thought that was a great idea, especially with the gratitude episode, to say thank you so much for leaving these reviews, and we would like to shout out.
You might have to talk for a minute, though. Let me get this dinosaur tablet up and running here. Oh yeah, there we go. Right here.
That's right up.
So, this gentleman reached out to me first, I think.
Probably.
And him and I went back and forth. So I'll just read the review and it'll be better.
No, context is good.
Oh boy.
What happened?
No, nothing. So this is our buddy Baz. Our buddy Baz, I think he's from New Zealand. I should have all the info up, but this thing is just a pile of dung. But this is what he said about the podcast. Super grateful that this podcast exists. It's so strange that we're talking about gratefulness, and the second word is grateful.
I love it.
I don't think there's a podcast out there that is more super real, authentic, and raw as this one. The host is super humble.
Clearly.
Thank you, Baz. I do appreciate that. My highest compliment for any person. If you are hungry for something to feed your mind, this podcast provides that in spades.
Yes.
Constant, deep conversations, exploring life in every way. Prepare to be inspired, moved, encouraged, and challenged to be your very best. I cannot recommend it highly enough. Sincerely, Baz.
Wow.
Baz is a good dude.
Wow.
And he comments on every single one of the posts that we've been doing, and it's just super nice to feel like somebody
Is getting value.
and somebody feels what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
And I'm super grateful for that. Me and him have conversations in the comments all the time.
That's awesome.
I just love it. I
hadn't read that yet. I'm gonna make sure that I read every single review that you guys do leave.
And
thank
please,
you so much to Baz.
If you do find value, shameless promotion. If you do find value, please on SoundCloud or iTunes, just leave a review because it'll help us help more people. So
Yes.
that's the name of the game, and you guys can help with that. So we would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you so much. Please do that, and we will make sure we read them thoroughly. And we will also be doing, assuming you want to do this, shout out every week of the best review.
Yeah, you keep coming, keep them coming in.
Yeah,
we'll put 'em
thank
out.
you so much, and shout out to the Ultimate Health Podcast for this great idea. That was awesome. We were talking about hunger and we were talking about gratitude, and he talked about
Yeah,
both
man.
in that review.
Yeah, the universe provides.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
What
Okay,
else you
cool.
got?
So,
Oh, I hit myself in the face.
do you want to go into some other things that you're most grateful for? I feel like I'm talking too much.
Well, most of the time you do. So I am super great. See, the more I talk with people, the more I realize that most people stress out about fitness and nutrition and diet.
Yeah.
And I am super grateful that I've been doing fitness in quotations for a long time.
Yeah. Because you've mastered.
I don't know if I don't.
No, you've mastered it. You didn't let me. You mastered
No,
it
I
to a
don't.
greater extent to where it's taking less of your. You have some habits built that are helping.
Yeah.
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm super grateful that that's just something I don't have to deal with. I was having a conversation with somebody and they were saying like, you made me think. Like what you just said made me think, and I said, well, that's a good thing. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
That's the best.
I want you to realize like,
Stir the pot.
yeah, for me, it's just I am super grateful that I kind of know what's going to happen when I do this. I know what's going to happen when I do this.
Yeah.
I know why this is happening.
Yep.
But that's just through reps. That's through success and failure repeatedly.
Repeated success and failure.
So I'm super grateful that I feel that way, and I'm also super grateful that I think I can help others feel that way.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Because it's not just do what works for you, do what you'll actually do,
I like that. Yeah. Do what you'll actually do, and then build on that.
and then build on that.
Yep.
Then try to do the most efficient version of what you'll actually do.
Yes.
Because I could give you the cure for weight loss, and if you don't like the color red and it's take this red pill and you're not going to do it, it ain't going to work.
Yep.
So do what works for you as best as possible.
And then build on that.
And then
yeah.
build on that.
You got to say that and build on that,
Yeah.
because otherwise they'll just do that, and yeah, and not they, but like.
Well, I watched, we were talking about this too, The Secret.
Oh yeah.
And like, The Secret is awesome. One of the first things I watched the movie, but it almost makes it seem like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just hope.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine. It's like, no, you got to get out there and put in the reps.
Yeah. Yeah.
The boat doesn't paddle itself. Like, you got to paddle the boat.
The boat does not paddle itself.
No.
That's a good. You're killing it.
Oh,
today.
yeah, sure.
Absolutely killing it.
That nap.
I know, right? Power naps change lives. You mind hammering this over a little bit?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Can we just? Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if you noticed. I don't like that seating. I don't like my posture like that. Everyone,
Dude, I'm
sorry.
super comfy right now.
Okay, Kevin's super comfy. I like to sit up straight like a mon.
I am up straight. I'm 4'2". What do you want from me?
Either way.
What else you got?
So you just talked about the gratitude you have for having a level of mastery with your body
Yes.
and your health.
Yes.
I also am super grateful about that because not everyone has that. I would like us to also learn to have that level of competence and confidence around financial freedom.
Yes.
That's the next.
That is a goal.
That is a huge goal. And I think that everyone should aspire to master health and wellness, wealth creation, and love and intimacy. And if you master those three pillars, like really get good at understanding how the game works, what the pieces do, inputs and outputs, how to be based on your best self, you're going to have a wonderful life. You know?
I like how you put health and wealth together and like fitness. It's interesting to me, man, because I don't know why you wouldn't want to be as fit as you possibly could.
Yeah.
And most people don't like when you say that, but it's like, why wouldn't you want to be as rich as you possibly could? Why wouldn't you want to be as successful as you possibly? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Is it because you really don't want to be in shape, or is it because you know how much work it takes?
Yeah.
Are you lying to yourself? Like, it just, that always has blown my mind where it's like, why not? though?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a great question.
And I people say like, oh, I'm happy with where I am. That's fine. Awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a good thing.
Right. That's
build
a great
on
thing.
build on that.
Build
though.
on it.
Yeah.
Because why? Like, I'm happy where the podcast is. This is awesome.
I was happy with my physique at that first show.
Right.
That was 2 years ago.
Right.
And now I look back on it and I'm like, how was I happy with that?
That is a disconnect, man. There's
Yeah.
a disconnect for me there where people say like, I'm happy with where I am right now. I'm
Yes.
probably in the best non-prep shape I've ever been in.
Yeah, I think you're in the best shape you've ever been in,
Right.
period.
Okay,
You're in the
I appreciate
healthiest
that.
you've ever been.
Yeah, and
overall,
it's like,
mentally
to me,
and physically.
I'm
and they're
already
connected.
I'm ready to up it. I'm
Oh,
ready
yeah.
to say like, all right, now what? Now what's next?
Well, progress equals happiness.
It's true.
So I think that I love what you did there, which is why wouldn't you want to be wealthier?
And
Why wouldn't you want to be
more
healthier?
confident if you were in
Even better shape.
even better being a what's the word? Whatever.
A better version of you.
No. You know how you say better is a subjective. Like what is better
Yeah.
shape, but better for you?
More capable, more competent. Like,
Would you be happier?
I think so.
Would you be as happy as you are? And it's hard because fitness is such a big thing to you, but like if you weren't in control of your health and your body.
Oh no, man. I feel like that would. You wouldn't feel like what you're doing, you wouldn't know was paying off, because you and I have been there. Like think back to when, for me, it's before I met Nate and he taught me a lot of these principles. Like I was doing what I thought would work and it wasn't working, and that was frustrating.
Yeah.
That sucked. I wasn't happy. I was
Yeah.
frustrated. Now there are other frustrations, like some of the things associated with running a business. They're challenging and they're frustrating, but once you get over that and you learn how to master that and you feel competent enough to put in the reps, the frustration turns into happiness.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. The frustration is like, take Catherine, for example. She kept on saying like, oh, I tried this for a year, it didn't work. I tried this for 6 months, it didn't work. I tried this. And you and I work out with her. There's still things that every single time we work out with her, she's learning.
Right.
And I think that the process of getting better is going to make everyone happier.
I would agree. But I just feel like there's a disconnect. Or maybe it's an excuse.
I think that maybe they're afraid.
Why are people afraid to say they want to be rich?
Oh, because it's demonized.
So is it the same with fitness?
Yes.
Like me saying I want to be yoked this summer. I want to be shredded.
Yeah, I do too.
But is there a negative association with like, oh, okay, like that's
Well, I think that a lot of people associate you're a meathead or you're shallow, right? And if they did it long enough to realize that it's not about that, then they would understand. Same with wealth, right? Like there are a lot of rich people who have gotten rich by taking advantage of people, but what people don't realize a lot of the time is when you get rich at the service of others, then you are doing a service. You're doing a good thing. That money is literally a direct reflection of how much you've helped others.
Right.
Let's say that woman paid you $50 for that consultation, and you got $50 a day, every day from now on, by helping someone change their life. And you got rich eventually.
Yeah, how is
You'd
that
have to
bad
invest
then?
very smart with
Right,
$50 a day.
I know.
But my point is if you got rich by helping people change their lives, that's what the economy is supposed to be. The problem is we have cigarette companies, alcohol companies, all these companies that get wealthy off of the detriment of
Right.
others. So to make a long story short, I think that wealth and fitness, some people make what is it? It's like there's a percentage that make it seem worse than it is. It's having more wealth basically is just going to magnify what you are.
I
If you're a
agree.
bad person,
I
you're
agree.
just going to have more to be bad with.
Yep. I agree.
So I think that's why it gets demonized. It gets demonized. And I also think it gets demonized too because of jealousy.
Well, if you demonize it, you're never going to be it.
Yeah, that's huge. Can we
Right.
talk about that?
Of
That's
course,
huge.
Of course.
So we grew up, a lot of us, in homes where the rich were kind of like seen as assholes, or they must have taken advantage of people, or they get some millionaire mentors, get some mentors who are wealthy, because you're going to realize very quickly that a lot of them are wonderful people, like beyond what you ever thought a person could be. Like, and when you link that up and you realize that the only reason they are as wealthy as they are is because they care as much as they do,
Yeah.
you're going to link up all that association from your childhood is going to be gone. Same with fitness. For me, when I met Nate and I saw how in shape he was and I saw how intelligent he was, that subconscious fitness people are meatheads
Right.
went away immediately.
Right. And I think that's what this is.
That's what this is too. Oh yeah, man.
You know, like we got after it this morning in the gym. Actually, I didn't have a great workout today. I was not feeling well, but
Still pretty good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it's
good.
good
I,
rep.
mean, I did a lot of technique work on the heavy bag, so that was good. But I think that I don't know, man. Us doing the things that we do and feeling so free doing them.
Yeah. And then talking about
Yeah, man.
real life shit.
Yeah, I don't think having a lot of money makes you a bad person. I don't
No
think
way.
I don't think
way.
being in shape makes you a bad person.
I can prove that having a lot of money doesn't make you a bad person. I know some very wealthy,
Yeah.
wonderful people.
Yeah.
I know for a fact.
and I know some very in shape people that
are
would give you the shirt off their back, and it's not because they want to see themselves without a shirt.
I know.
They're just good people who happen to be in very good shape.
Win-win.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know?
win-win.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
It is. So I posted not long ago about this podcast, and I said something along the lines of, if you listen to our podcast, you just might start believing in yourself. If you feed your mind, so Kevin and I earlier today, we looked at some YouTube stuff because we were trying to figure out the quality of our videos and how to make it better, as we're always doing for you guys and girls. But we came across some YouTubers in the fitness industry. I won't name any names because the last thing we want to do is demonize, and this is a positive podcast here. They talk about a lot of fucking nonsense. All right? Seriously. Things that just do not matter whatsoever, aren't really helping anybody. We want to be the fitness thing, but not
Yeah.
that. Right?
If you listen to, this is the difference between us and them. If you not everybody, but
Yeah.
if you listen to this, you will need to constructively criticize yourself.
Yes.
If you listen to somebody talk about the weather
Yeah.
and the nice car they just bought,
And the waffles
you might as well be watching a sitcom. You will not have any feedback on yourself, and you
won't improve.
won't improve. You might get happiness from it, but I get happiness from Parks and Recreation.
So I call what we watched earlier candy for the mind.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. It's not nutritious. You said earlier, like, if you listen to our podcast, you are going to think critically. You're going to have to think. We're
have
going to
to.
stir the pot. And that's a good thing, because when you stir the pot, insights come out, little changes, little tweaks, like try this, try that. I think that's why a lot of people have an aversion to content that is this real, but I also think that it's the most valuable.
Dude, people reaching out and saying, like, hey,
Yep.
keep doing this. This is awesome.
Yep.
That's all. That's it. That's all I need.
Do we want to talk at all about the negativity that you saw on social media about perhaps the podcast?
Well, there has been some negativity, and
Trip to Negative Town.
no, we're not even going there.
No,
You
we're
can.
not.
I'll let you see the sign for Negative Town, but
Yeah.
what I feel about that negativity is when somebody questions my character, or I feel as if somebody is questioning my character, it makes me question my character. And when I say question, I don't mean, oh, am I what they say? I mean, am I really what I say I am? And every single time I've done that so far in my life, I have come back proud and said, I am the man I want to be.
Yeah. Am I walking my talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you to...
Is the way they're portraying me true?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I want to thank those people, because that gave me feedback that I had to check to see, I had to check to see if I was on the right station. I had to check to see if my antennas were working.
I love your analogies, man.
And
You've grown so much.
I'm grateful.
Crazy.
Dude, I'm grateful for people that don't think I'll make it.
I think you handled it well.
No, I appreciate. Yeah,
think you
it is what it
handled it
is,
well.
man.
It's
It is
a
what it is.
necessary part
And
of
I
the
also
process.
know that's not. You feel that about yourself. You don't feel that about me.
Yeah.
You don't feel, because
That's where they are.
anybody that I've reached out to, or anybody that's reached out to me, and I've spent days, weeks, months, years
Yeah.
helping,
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
literally on and off for more than a year. Like, I don't care what you think, because I know what they think. I know that I helped them. I don't.
You care what the people you're helping
Yes, yeah,
think.
yeah. I don't care if you
Yeah.
look at it from the outside and you're like, oh, he's stuck up, or he's this, or he's that.
Yeah.
And nobody directly said this to me, so I don't even know. Whatever. It is what it is.
Your Erroneous Zones, we talked about that book earlier. He talks about, if I go give a speech in front of 1,500 people, that's 1,500 different reputations
Yeah.
that I now have.
And some people are not going to like you.
Yeah, some people are not going to like you, but the people that do resonate with you,
Yeah.
you're going to change their life.
Yeah.
and
who
that-
knows?
What's
Who
the
knows? You could
alternative?
change that person's life too.
Yeah,
What if
yeah, I know.
What if I took that criticism and I was like, oh shit, I can't do this. This is too hard.
Yeah.
And I just said, this isn't for me. I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
That one person
might never come around.
might never come around, but what if that one person affected me to the point where I stopped doing what I was doing, and that one person affected the lives of thousands of people, or millions of people, or however many people I plan on helping?
Interesting.
I owe it to everybody else
Yeah.
to say, look, I value your opinion. Sure, you can think whatever you want about me,
Yep.
but you haven't reached out to me in your darkest moment, so
Yeah.
you don't know who I am.
So you don't know yet. I always go back to the woman who told me that her husband and her lost their child, and they came across one of the Twitter quotes that I posted, and they said that it was what they really needed to hear and feel in their darkest moment. And to me, that's what I always go back to whenever someone says this or that about me. I'm like, listen, like what I'm doing is helping people
Yeah.
in their greatest time of need. Someone was there for me in my greatest times of need, and I want to be that person for
that's
others.
what it's about.
And I'm not going to stop because you got butt hurt by one thing I said
Right.
one time out of context.
Right.
You know?
And
Like,
guess what? If you reach out to me, I would answer you.
for sure. Still.
No matter what you say about me, if you reach out to me and you need help, I will help you. Because
love
that's
it.
who I am.
I love it. I love it, man. Beautiful. That might be a very difficult. So one of the things I wrote here is when I said that I'm grateful for the listeners, and I said why. One of them is tons of you have been reaching out and giving positive feedback and constructive criticism as well, which I
is
love.
important.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Lots of love and questions have come. I love the questions. Keep them coming because they get me thinking and they help me learn how to help more people, and especially the people in my intimate life, like my friends and family and stuff. Like I can take these lessons and help them. And then the last one is thank you for your patience. And the reason for that is because my DM box gets full fairly quickly, and I think that's a blessing, but it's also challenging to always get back quickly.
You guys can hit me up. My DM doesn't get full. I got you.
So Kevin's like, if you reach out, I will help you. It's like, yeah, but wait. Like,
I know.
But eventually you will.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And also, we're going to start answering questions on this show once your inbox starts getting full,
Yeah.
my inbox starts getting full. So start hammering questions because we'll do Q&A podcast sessions, every other week or whatever it is to answer these questions because that's huge.
Love it.
I love it. What else do we have here? So let's do a quick recap. We talked about the different things we're grateful for. We said health. You said fitness,
Family,
friends
friends.
for sure. The 5 people you surround yourself with. What were some of the other ones?
Fans, people
for
reaching
sure.
out. Dude, honestly,
Leaving
like,
reviews.
yeah, the opportunity, giving me the chance to do what I want to do. Like, by reaching out, you're giving me the chance to help you, which is what I want to do. So the fact that somebody was like,
It does let you up.
yeah.
I've given you a lot of those chances lately.
Yeah. But it's different with you because you trust me. Like,
Yeah.
we're really, really, really good friends. So it's obviously
You've
like,
helped me a lot, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
I've been
that,
coming
of
to you
course.
with
And
a
I'll
lot
continue.
of,
And you've helped me. This is not a one-way road.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
that's how
For
this
sure.
this works.
Yeah.
We always joke like 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4
3 out of the 5.
or 4. No, I'm saying like
Oh.
usually like 75 to 90% of the dream team is struggling.
Oh, yeah.
And when then somebody's got to shoulder the weight for everybody else, and
Yeah.
I'm ready to do that right now. So
Yeah.
it's part of the game.
Part of the game.
But
Beautiful.
dude, just being grateful. Just be grateful
Be grateful.
for whatever it is.
Try to focus more on what you do have. What is going well. What is
And
right.
if you feel like nothing is going right, and there is something. But honestly, if I'm very, very adamant about this, if you're in your life and something doesn't make you happy, your relationship, where you live, your friends, your job, your whatever, change it. Change it.
Yep.
It's not easy, for sure. I know it's not as easy, just change it. But do research, do the necessary steps, that you need to do in order to just get yourself out of whatever toxicity that you're feeling.
Yeah, because that's going to make you more happy, which is then going to make you able to contribute even more
Yeah, to yourself, to your own life.
to your own life and to the life of others. Because
Yeah.
if your life is full and you're happy and healthy, you're going to have more to give,
How hard is it to get out of bed when you don't have a reason to get out of bed?
right?
Like when Saturdays you're like, I just need to rest because this week has been terrible,
Yeah.
and you sleep like, don't get me wrong, I'll sleep half the day away Saturday sometimes too, but my point is for some people, for most people, for a lot of people, for me, it used to be me. Friday night was the happiest time because that meant I didn't have to wake up and go to work the next day. Alan just got blown away. And I know, like, work 60 years, retire is just not an option for me. It's just not an option.
way.
I don't
No
want to
chance.
do that. I want to do this.
No chance.
And I know
Yeah.
you want to do something. I don't care what it is. Fucking make an alpaca farm.
Yeah.
Sew a fucking whatever it is that you really want to do. Whatever it is you really want to do.
Yeah.
Find a way.
Find
to
a
do
way
it.
to do it.
And you'll be happy.
Yep.
Even if it's hard along the way, you'll be happy.
It will be hard along the way,
Oh, yeah.
but you'll be yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna
Yeah,
be- it's
but
definitely
you
gonna
will
be
be
hard.
happier.
You will be happier.
Beautiful, beautiful.
What else you
things,
got?
man.
We're all obviously going over in time per
We are.
usual.
What time is it?
Hour and 10.
Really?
Oh yeah. Sure.
Oh, okay. So we should wrap up.
Oh yeah.
So I put a bonus.
Oh,
'Cause
sure.
I did on the top. I put top 5.
Did you
most
put
great-
stars around it, or did you just write bonus?
I just wrote bonus.
I'm disappointed.
This one's a good one
Okay.
because I believe that most of the people who are listening to this podcast are in this country. Freedom.
I've actually been heard in I wish I knew the number. 20 or 30 different countries.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We should know more of that.
Yeah.
Good. So I put freedom, the ability to create and design life on my own terms.
We joke about, or not joke, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what a time to be alive.
Right? The ability right now to design life on your own terms is greater than it's ever been before. I always go back to this. 40 years ago, if you wanted to start a business, you needed a down payment on a factory or a facility, brick and mortar business. Now you need a brain and a laptop and some fucking serious ambition.
Yeah.
Be super thankful. Dude, you can get really granular with this. The roads that you drive on that you didn't have to pave.
I think about that all the time.
The
Who
internet-
lined all those roads?
Right?
How long did that take?
I know.
I think about that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm also a hippie.
There's so many things that we benefit from that we just aren't seeing. I always go back to that stat. The general quality of life, quote unquote, generally speaking, in this country in particular, is higher, living standards wise, food, shelter, clothing, is higher than it's ever been, for sure. Technology increases at an exponential rate. Productivity also increases as technology increases. We can do more with less. Imagine a lawnmower that was a push mower versus a lawnmower that you drive versus one that automatically is a robot, right? So you can do more with less. Every single year, every single day, you can do more with less as technology increases, as a society. Now, because of that, we can now produce way more food, products, services than we ever could with less. Because of that, even though the wealth gap is increasing, the quality of life of the lowest income families is actually higher than the middle class back in the 50s, 60s, let's say. Even I shouldn't say the poorest person, but even, let's say you make minimum wage. You still probably have a phone that is more capable
Oh, yeah.
than anything anyone had 20 years ago.
Oh, for sure.
Period.
For sure.
So what I'm trying to say, and I got to be very careful about this because I know a lot of people are still suffering. We are living at a time where the overall average quality of life in terms of living standards is higher than it's ever been due to the exponential growth of technology. But yet the depression rates are also higher than they've ever been. And here I believe is why. We're not talking enough and focusing enough about what is awesome
And what matters.
and what matters.
You said, so with the rise of technology and all of that, you can do more with less.
Yes.
I think more people than ever are doing less with less.
Interesting.
Coming home after work and just plopping on the couch, and that's it for the night. And again, don't get me wrong. I have nights. The other night, I got home at like 11 o'clock from something, and I literally stayed up to 5 o'clock watching UFC in bed.
Yeah.
Like, some nights I do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I also do this. I'm also up at 6 o'clock for the gym. It's like, it's all balance. It's all balance. It's all balance.
So I want people to really gain. I've been reading a lot of history lately because I wanted to gain perspective. The entertainment industry, meaning Hollywood, believe it or not, is only about 100 years old, not even. We now, because of the fact that we have technology in our pockets, have the ability to consume entertaining content more readily than ever before. And I think that is really, really destroying some of the values that actually fill human beings up. We talk about this a lot. When you're watching Netflix, when you are literally getting hits of dopamine that are simulating that you're accomplishing things. You're connecting with people, you're connecting with characters, you're connecting with stories, you're accomplishing whatever the characters are accomplishing. Your brain can simulate that and you get the same feelings. The problem is you don't get the same results and you don't get the same fulfillment. In other words, progress equals fulfillment and happiness. When you're done with that show, you got all of the dopamine hits, but you didn't make any progress on your own life.
Right.
So to give perspective, 50, 60, 70 years ago, there was radio only. You weren't sitting on the couch watching TV for 4 hours at a time.
There's no time
Netflix
for reflection.
Is destroying.
There's no time for reflection.
Dude.
There is. There's all the time in the day for reflection, but most people fill it up.
Watching that shit earlier on YouTube scares me.
Oh, yeah, I can tell.
It scares me because if people are literally sitting there watching other people live their lives and not living their own lives, we're going to have a lot of really depressed people.
Yeah.
And more depressed people will focus even more on what they don't have. And it's a whole...
It's a vicious circle.
Vicious cycle. So, practicality right now. This is a Grateful podcast. We're going to focus back on what's good and build on that. Cut down.
Oh, yeah.
Just cut down. Read books. Like, spend time with your loved ones, your friends. Chase your dreams. I don't care how small it is. Go to the gym, go hit the bag. Whatever your dreams are, just start small. And it's weird because we have a podcast and like we're on Instagram and stuff, but like get off your phone for a time.
Yeah,
it needs to be balanced.
Yeah, even having to like, I got to do a post tonight before I go to bed. I got to do this, and like people around me understand, they know, but it's like that's not my first choice. Like that's not what that's part of this. This is part of this.
Yeah, it's part of it.
I won't lie to you. Not everything that about making this podcast is glitz and glamour.
Of course, yeah.
Most of it is us fucking up.
Yeah.
But we enjoy this is the process, and we enjoy the process.
So the best analogy I have is video games. Let's say you're a character. Diablo 2 is a game I used to love back in the day. If you're a gamer, you'll remember that game. You have a character who has skills and has attributes. One of them was dexterity, one of them was strength, one of them was vitality, mana, all that. And you would go out and you would kill zombies and stuff or whatever, monsters, to save the world, and you would gain experience. And when you gained experience, you would level up. And when you leveled up, you could add more skills, like lightning, frost, whatever it is, and then you can add to dexterity or whatever. And then you get new weapons. You find better and better weapons. So your character improves.
Mm-hmm.
I spent so many hours on that game, Kevin. I was a kid, okay? And I do think that it developed some of the strategy part of my brain. But when you're done playing the game, you're not any better.
Nope.
Like,
Same.
As a person.
Nope. Yep.
Your character in a game is better. Call of Duty, your KD ratio, your kills to deaths, your rank. That shit is literally designed to simulate accomplishment. You're not actually accomplishing anything unless you are in the esports industry and this is your mission and you're a professional. Right. So if you want to be a pro gamer, go all in.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, make sure it's a fucking hobby and it stays a hobby and balance it. Because you're literally what you're getting in that virtual world is improvement and progress. But when you come back to the real world, you're going to feel like shit.
Especially one thing that I think of, and this is best friend, person I live with, Matt, loves Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right? But he doesn't miss his workouts.
I know.
For Game of Thrones.
Well, it's because Matt's the man.
He doesn't miss, what he doesn't miss
connecting with his family.
Yeah. So it's like, look, Game of Thrones is on at 10 or whatever time is on. I don't know.
I love Game of Thrones too. Jamie and I always watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. But it's like, if you tell me you don't have 2 hours to go to the gym and you're watching Game of Thrones, like, okay.
Where are your priorities?
Right.
Yep.
And don't forget, like, I understand when you go to the office, everybody's going to say, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. But they're not going to the gym either.
And they're not happy, maybe.
If they're not.
Maybe. They might not be happy either.
Yeah. So it's like,
it's just
you got to take control of your fucking life.
Make sure 80% of what you're doing is improving your own life. and the 20% can be entertainment.
Yeah.
It's off balance.
Yeah.
It really is. I am a victim of that too. We call it the rabbit hole.
Yep.
You go on Instagram and you're just like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
Like, it's all a bunch of candy. People are so focused on fitness and diet. Feeding your mind is the same thing.
Yeah.
If you were to feed your body a bunch of crap and only crap, and you didn't track, and you just hammered a bunch of candy all the time, do you think you're gonna feel well?
No.
Your mind is the same way. Information is candy. If Instagram, most of it's candy. YouTube, most of it's candy. Start to feed your mind the micronutrients. Books, history books. I've been reading a lot of Lucius Seneca from the Roman times, philosophers, stuff like that. That shit this podcast, it will get you thinking, and then you'll be able to feed on that, and then you'll be able to improve your own life. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
What do you think?
I think it's a beautiful day to be alive.
Yeah.
I think that
78 degrees today.
tomorrow is the first day of the rest of our life.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is spring almost,
Yeah.
which is going to be awesome.
So, as I say, today will be yesterday. So if you do What-
Give everyone a minute. Tomorrow,
tomorrow,
today
will
be yesterday.
be yesterday.
Why do you say that?
Because there is not necessarily a right time
To do
to
anything.
start.
Yeah.
You know, if you said you were going to start today and you didn't, come tomorrow, today was yesterday. So you're already a day behind.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I've done that.
What's that great quote? It says, the secret to getting ahead is getting started.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dude, these quotes, they sound so simple. But like when you realize like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, just get started. Just get started.
Start small.
Fail. You're going to fail a bunch.
I always go back to that LinkedIn
And by
CEO
fail,
quote.
I mean fail forward.
Yeah, fail forward.
You will though.
He said if you're not embarrassed by the first draft, then you launched too late.
Yeah.
Our first podcast.
Oh, don't
me,
listen
you
to
and
it.
Copeland.
Don't
Yeah.
listen to it. Don't.
See?
No, I'm kidding.
But
Please
that's
do.
what got us here.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
If you're not embarrassed by your first rep, then you launched too late. I remember telling Matt that. He won his first show.
Oh, yeah.
You overcooked the turkey, bro.
Overcook the turkey.
He could have been competing years ago.
Speaking of turkey, I'm going to get pizza.
Nice.
Maybe.
Speaking of turkey, I'm going to get pizza.
Nice segue.
Love it.
You got anything else? What do you want to sign off? You got anything you want to plug?
No, I think that's it. Be grateful.
Be grateful.
For you, I asked what was your gratitude practices, and you talked a lot about your friends that you're around. Do you have any individual rituals that you do?
I try to say what I'm grateful for every night before I go to sleep.
Okay, cool.
I won't lie, though.
What's the question that you...
So honestly, I literally list off. This is from The Secret. Like I literally list off the things that I'm grateful for that I have, and the things that I'm grateful for that I don't have yet, but I will have
In advance.
in advance.
I love that. I think
Yeah.
that's huge.
And honestly, I don't know if it's witchcraft or what, but a lot of the things that I said I'm grateful for that I didn't have, I do now have. So I don't know. Science, magic.
Science magic.
Wish away your problems.
Love it. Love it.
But no, that comes with reps.
And for me, I journal. I try to journal. I haven't been doing enough of it, but I say 4 questions. One of the questions is, what am I most grateful for about today?
What are you
And
most
then-
grateful for about today?
Me?
Yeah. Just
That's
like overall today.
Great question. I got a great workout today, for sure. That was next level intensity. I'm really excited about that review, which I'm going to
Baz.
read all of them. Thank you, Baz. I'm excited for more reviews, and I'm really excited that we did this podcast focused on gratitude, because a lot of people talk about gratitude, but it's a verb and it needs to be acted upon. And so many conversations tend to go south on what's wrong.
Yeah.
Even in this conversation, we did that a little.
Yeah.
But
But I
most
think
of it, 80-20, was positive.
Yeah, and I think when you do talk about what's wrong, you should talk about how you can make it right.
Yeah.
As
in
opposed
an effort
right,
to make
as
it
opposed
right,
to,
rather
well,
than just complaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not doing
Yeah.
what I need to do.
Yep.
This is why, one more thing before we go, I am super grateful for. I have made the correlation or the connection that uncomfortable situations make you level up.
Yeah.
Going to England
Yep.
was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done. Needed it.
Needed it.
Huge.
Yeah.
Just doing things that make you try to do something that makes you uncomfortable every day, every week,
day.
once a week, whatever it is. Whatever it is.
It's weird because right after you came home, you're like, oh, I don't feel that different. But now you're seeing the
now
tail end.
Yep. I remember that because I was like, oh no.
I always say this, positive things typically take longer to to come your way. You never know. You never know what one little positive habit will do in the long run.
No.
It's crazy.
No, it's true.
Design your life and build on gratitude.
Design your life and build on gratitude. Ladies and gents, it has been a beautiful podcast on a beautiful day. I hope you're having one as well. Somebody just honked a horn, rang a bell outside. There is somebody on a bicycle on our porch selling ice cream. So we're going to get some of that. That's not real. All right, we're signing off. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you all.
We will chat with you later.
Love, love, love.